evening. Just waiting for Hayley to join us. And this evening we're going to be talking about numerology. Now, I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I don't really know a lot about it, but Hayley's our expert, so she'll be joining us in a minute and we're going to have a good old chat about that. I believe she's going to do a tuning in practice as we begin, and then at the end I'm going to pull some tarot cards. And yeah, just hopefully we'll have a nice evening together for the next half hour or so. So just waiting for her to join, or anyone to join. Anyone there? Say hello. Just apply some chapstick while we wait. Ever important chapstick. For anyone that knows me, I always said that if I was stranded on a desert island, this would be the one thing I would take with me. Okay, hopefully she'll be joining us soon. Let me just check. Okay, got some viewers. No Hayley yet. Hopefully she'll be here soon. Sorry we didn't do last week. I can't remember what the reason was. I'm sure there was one. We're back on it this week, talking numerology. Don't know about you, but I'm seeing duplicate numbers everywhere all the time at the moment. Sure, we'll be talking about that in a sec. She's just joining us.
Hello.
All right.
How are you?
I can hear you. You can hear me.
Yes.
We're all good.
And we're the right way round. That was easy for me to say. So we're winning.
Sorry, I just saw your message come through. I was wondering if we wanted to tune in right at the beginning, just tune into our session, then have a chit chat.
Yeah, that's nice. Go a bit different.
Well, you know, that gives us something to kind of beginning and end it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
So anyone that wanted to join in tuning inwards, just close down your eyes and just start connecting to your breath. Just mindfully taking some slower breaths through the nose, all the way into the top. Slight pause when you get to the top. And as you just release that breath through the nostrils, just relaxing and softening your body, just letting go of any tension from the day. And just taking another nice big deep breath in through the nose, all the way to the top. Slight pause as you feel your belly nice and full, this new energy, and just releasing that, letting that go. As you just begin to feel your body soften and relax, telling your nervous system it's calm and it's safe, and just beginning to count in for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just out now for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and going back in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and out now for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just continuing on your own with this count, whatever count feels good for you, just making the exhale slightly longer than the inhale. Just one more time. And on the next one, just making this the slowest and deepest breath that you've taken all day. Just letting go of all that tension now and coming into the present moment. Knowing it's okay if thoughts pop into your head, but just making a note if you've gone off in a story. Just note that as thinking, come back to the breath or come back to the counting. It's a really great anchor. And we know that the past, being too much in the past, brings on depression, and being too much in the future, causing lots of worries and anxiety. Just knowing that the present holds all the power doesn't mean that it's always going to be this blissful state, but it means that we are taking full responsibility and taking our power back by being with all of us, acknowledging and accepting all parts of ourselves. So just bring into mind perhaps something that you may dislike about yourself or perhaps someone else, and just holding this in your heart, just being curious with it, letting go of any judgment and just allowing it, just welcoming that in. Now just release that. And now just bring into mind something that you like about yourself or perhaps love about yourself. Sometimes this can be even harder. Maybe it's something that you admire in someone else. Just knowing that everyone's a mirror for us. And this is also within us. Just bringing that into your heart now. Breathing that in, tuning into your heart space, feeling that heartbeat. And just feeling that love and that compassion for yourself. For the good and the bad. And just bringing to mind something that you feel blessed for today. Something that you are grateful for. Maybe it's a person, an animal. Maybe it's just the simplicity of clean running water. Things we take for granted, that having a roof over our head, warmth, bed, sleeping at night, loved ones around us, whatever it may be, just bring that into your heart with a nice big deep breath in. Tuning into that beautiful frequency of gratitude. Knowing that this is the highest vibration that we can hold. Tuning into this frequency allows us to manifest and attract more blessings into our life. So just softening our heads, softening our shoulders, softening our arms, allowing our whole bodies to relax, chest, back, lower back, hips, legs, allow them to go heavy, ankles and feet. And just tuning into the feet and every single toe. And just imagining a ball of energy here now as we shoot this down into the ground like energetic roots, as we anchor ourselves into Mother Earth, as it goes deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. As we come into contact with crystalline center, Mother Earth's crystal caves and the Mother Crystal, as the roots wrap around this crystal now, cleansing, transmuting any old energies, any residual energies, chaos energies, cords, Klingons, attachments, negative entities, anything that is not of the light, anything that doesn't serve us, as we call our power back to us, call our energy back to us, call our magic back to us, our good health and our love all back to us, all purified and cleansed, as Mother Earth takes all that no longer serves and transmutes this with the new. Just pulling that up now, through the roots, up, 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 until you feel it get to your feet. Just notice when it gets to your feet, the energy's changed, the colour's changed. If you don't notice anything, that's okay too. It doesn't all have to be experienced on the conscious level, just having that trust and belief that it's all working for the highest and greatest good. Just pulling that energy energy all the way through your body now, up through your legs, hips, belly, or fingers, hands, arms, up through the back, the chest, the neck, up into the head, up through the crown, as you notice you're so relaxed and full of this love, this abundance energy from the divine and Mother Earth. As you shoot that energy up into the sky, connected above and below now, and just come back into the heart as we push this energy outside of us into the room, filling up the entire room as it goes further and further. And keep imagining and visualizing, pretending whatever you see is perfect, whatever you don't see is perfect. The intention is everything. So just pushing this beautiful white, golden light, or whatever color you see, out into the world, to Mother Earth, the whole of Mother Earth and the whole of humanity, and out into the universe, to all sentient beings, to anyone struggling right now, anyone needing a little bit more love and light. Just knowing that we get this back tenfold anyway. And just placing a little protection bubble around you, as it's our intention that we don't take on anything that is not ours or not serving. Maybe it might see it as a little mirror that deflects off this energy, but we never want to send it back to people, because it's just like a ping pong that comes back and forth, back and forth. We always get it back. So our intention is just to transmute these old into the new. And just taking a few moments here in the presence. Just noticing if you've tensed any area of your body up again. Just allow that to soften. Just being with yourself, all parts of yourself. Just affirming to yourself, I am good enough. I'm whole and complete just as I am, and I am worthy. I am love. I am enough. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. And just when you're ready, taking one last big deep breath in, and just starting to roll your neck and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, and bringing this feeling back with you of just love and gratitude and compassion for yourself and others. Namaste. Thought you were going to fall asleep then, Luke.
Way gone.
Pardon?
Way gone.
Yeah, good. Can you go quite deep when you tune inwards quite quickly?
It's not always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Nice to start with a tune in.
Definitely.
Okay. Let's talk numerology.
Let's go. I'm no expert on numerology, but I love it. I'm pretty fascinated by it, and I think, speaking for myself, and I think a lot of other people who experience spiritual awakenings, I believe it's one of the first things we start to notice, the repeating numbers, and you're just like, someone or something trying to communicate with me or tell me something. And just everywhere I started seeing 111 everywhere. And I'm born on 111 as well, so it's quite significant for me. And I just had to look into it. But yeah, numbers have a frequency, as everything in the universe does. When we bring it down to it, the core of it, everything is just energy, vibration and frequency. And numerology is the understanding that each number holds a different frequency and a different meaning. And for me, I mean, everyone doesn't have to believe this. I mean, a lot of people will be like, oh, pish posh, and that's okay, but they're probably not the people who are watching this today. For me, it's really helped me because I feel quite encouraged when I see those numbers. So there's individual meanings for it, and I like to encourage people to tune in when they see the number of what that might mean for them. Asking ourselves a question means we gain access to our subconscious mind and get answers that we may not have known before. Then you have the generic meanings as well, and I often look up the generic and then just see which one kind of resonates with me. But yeah, what's your journey with numerology and repeating numbers?
I've only really been weirdly, possibly since I met you. But it's only really been recently that I'm seeing them absolutely everywhere, all the time. And you remember I drove to your house that time, and I took a picture when I parked up,
Yeah.
and it was 33333
Yeah.
mileage.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing.
you know, and it's just constant. And every time I Google it, this is the thing that I struggle with. When I Google it, I find that I get the same reasoning for every number, and I find it all a little too generic.
Yeah.
But then I start, as you rightly said, tuning into, well, what does that mean? What am I getting when you know, what's flowing through me when this number appears? Um, and then I start to feel a little different, a little like there's a guidance or a purpose, or if nothing else, simply it's just telling me to tune in at that moment.
I love that.
You
That's
know,
powerful in itself.
yeah, I know. Maybe it's just like, you know, oh, notice this reminder to tune in,
Yeah.
even about the numbers as such. I don't know.
Yes. Something that brings you back to presence. Maybe our mind was wandering, or I've even been told, like, what were you just thinking about when you saw that number as well? That can be something to do with it as well. But yeah, just definitely similar to like when the birds are cheeping and it just automatically you're like, oh, whoa, where was I then? And now I'm back to presence.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that really helps you just come back, and that encouragement. But yeah, I know generic meanings and kind of my meanings for most of the numbers. If you wanted me to run through those for people, if they were interested, cool. So 0 usually comes up, and anytime you see a repeating number, so if you're seeing 0 a lot, or if you see 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, it just adds strength to that, so it's even more encouragement basically. So the zeros are usually around new beginnings. I know there's loads and loads of different meanings, but this, I'm just going by what it kind of comes up for me and kind of around the generic meaning. So 0 is always new beginnings. It's that full circle kind of thing, and a fresh start. And then I have the 1, which is usually all around awakenings, expansions of consciousness. You're leveling up, you're upgrading. Any time you see a repeating number, it's always encouraging. It's always a good sign, usually that you're on the right path. So that brings us to 2s. 2s, they're my favorite. I see them everywhere. Which is, you're on the right path, you're exactly where you're meant to be. It could be potentially come back into being present or stay present, just that real encouragement number for me. 3s is master number. It's a lot to do with manifesting and money, but that you're really mastering life, again on the right path as well, encouragement. And then you have 4s, which I usually find is around balance, back into balance it could possibly be. Then 5s is always changes coming. That's quite a well-known one. When you start to see the 5s, you're like, oh god, okay, I'm gonna embrace this. No one likes change, but it's coming. So I always know when I see 5s, change is on its way.
The same in
Pardon?
the same in tarot. The 5 is like the
Okay. There you go, a theme. Yeah, so yeah, when you see 5 5s in a row, you're like, oh shit, buckle up. 6s for me is a bit of a shadow number. So you know how the 666 is the devil number. So I find it's the, Hayley, it's time to feel it, to heal it. Stop resisting what you're resisting and welcoming these emotions and sit with them if you can, which for me has always been one of the hardest things. But I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's keep going, baby steps. So it's, yeah, usually about, there's an emotion there wanting to be felt. And it's asking for just some acknowledgement and some attention. Then we have the 7s, which is always a beautiful number, the prosperity, the good luck, good fortune. 8s, transformation is coming, karmic cycles being complete, because it's that infinity sign as well. Then you have the 9s, which always come up around a cycle has been complete and released something. So it's either something's been released, or when you're tuning in yourself of, okay, have I still got something to release, or has it been released? The answer will usually come. I find that it's something needs to go, and that cycles are about to be or are completing. And that's pretty much it, really. And then obviously you have the numbers together, like you might start seeing 10 10 10, which have again different meanings on their own, but you've just still got the one of expansions and the new beginnings. But yeah, there's lots to it, and that's kind of as far as my knowledge stretches to it for the time being.
It would be, there's a numerology lady who I did an online like a webinar with, and for the life of me I can't remember her name. I want to say it might be Beth, I'm not sure, I'll look it up. But I found it really fascinating, and we did the numerology of our birthdays.
Okay, cool. Life path number, or is that different?
I don't know. But you know, I can't remember exactly how we did it, but it's something like you add up the numbers and then you add them up again and add them up again, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, so you have every letter correlates to a number. So if you wrote them out, you can find it online if you Google it, but you have the A B C D E F G, and then it's 3 in a row, and they correspond to the 1 2 3 4, and you add all them up. Yeah.
I don't know what we did. But
it'll be online anyway.
I wrote it all down, actually. I've got it somewhere. And we went through what each of the numbers meant, and you kind of have this one number based on your birthday that is kind of most reflective of your personality. And I remember really freakishly accurate.
Okay, cool. Do you remember what number it was?
No.
I believe mine is 6. I believe my life path number is 6, and also when I add my name up, so when I add my actual birthday up, 11/01/1992, and you add all those up and then add it up at the end as well, when you get, so you can get 1 digit number,
yeah,
it's a 6, and then when you do it with the name, it's a 6 as well. So I'm an all-round 6er. Pardon?
I'm sure I was a 1.
Okay, I think that's around like a leader as well, bit like leadership qualities. And yeah. There's a video I watched recently. I'll try and find it and link that in here to find out your number and what that means.
Yeah, but I remember it being a little bit mind-blowing. So there's obviously to it, for sure.
Yeah, we like to go in depth though, don't we, Luke? We like, everything's got a reason. I like to think it has, you know, like otherwise I'm sat here like, what is the point of life? I have to know that every single thing happens for a reason. I think I smashed a cup the other day, and I was like, maybe I should Google this. What does this mean? And I'm like, am I going too far with all this stuff?
But yeah, so I use basic numerology in tarot as well, and not dissimilar to some of the descriptions that you've just given, but you know, I find that really helps, and very much, you know, like you said, 5 is where, you know, something's a bit disruptive or change is coming, and you know, and like 9s, 10s are like the cycle completing, and 0s and 1s are a cycle starting. So 2s are often about making decisions or having paths or options.
Okay. Oh yeah, like the fork in the road too. Yeah, it makes
duality,
sense. Yeah.
Or partnership, things like that. So, you know, 8 being the, as you mentioned, the infinity number, you know, kind of a more divine aspect. So yeah, there's, you know, I use that basic numerology in tarot as well.
Yeah, that's cool. You said you didn't know hardly anything. That's pretty good, Luke.
Yeah.
I've learned something, so it's good.
So talking of tarot, should I draw a few cards at the end of
Love that.
a fresh pack today? Look at that.
Oh, lovely. Treating us.
I keep a few spare packs at the studio for when I'm teaching tarot. So
Nice.
those.
Yeah.
For your 3 cards.
Anyone watching, if they want to send Luke your energy, send the cards some energy. If you've got any specific questions, you can just ask them in your head.
So as always, if you're watching this message is meant for you. And take it or leave it. So we've got 3 cards that I've pulled out today. We start with the 4 of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Star card in reverse. Start with our 4 of Swords. So it's a rest period, like a grace period between challenges. But when you look in this picture closely, you see 3 swords are hung up, and 1 sword is kind of laying next to him, where he's laying. And for me, that always represents that the 3 hung up are battles or challenges that you've faced, but they're still present in the sense of there are still things to learn from them. They're not active, but they're still present. And this pausing, this reflection time is very much about that, looking at these things that have happened, and while they're not active, looking at them and saying, why did they happen for me rather than why did they happen to me? What was the lesson? Because when we're in the heat of the moment, the lessons aren't obvious, they aren't clear. But when we pause and reflect, we learn things. So, and then the 4th sword there at the bottom represents the challenges that will come in the future, because let's face it, life isn't all rosy, right? So we're always going to face things, but this rest makes you stronger. It creates strength and it creates growth and knowledge for future challenges. So it's a real time of pausing and reflecting at the moment while things aren't active.
I feel that.
Yeah. Time to retreat. A bit of hermit time, maybe.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Now, I tend to use this analogy of a traditional king and queen. So traditionally speaking, a king will have a throne through his birthright. Doesn't do anything to earn it, it's just his birthright, and he's going to land on that throne whether he likes it or not. A queen would have to work a little bit harder. He'll have to marry the king, bear the king's children, learn royal etiquette. It's a little bit of a harder journey for a queen in traditional terms. But what you get with the harder journey is the real reward, the truth that you've earned that throne, that you really belong there. And so when you look at this queen closely, you can see not only is she cradling the pentacle there and kind of admiring it, admiring the kind of the results of her hard work, but also things are blossoming and blooming around her. You can see everything growing up, and it's just all, it's like a peaceful moment of finding your place, a peaceful moment of recognizing where you've got to. So when you pair that with the previous card, I think in this reflection moment, in this time that you're taking to step away from the battles of life, it's time to really focus on what you physically have in the world, because it's so easy for us to focus on what we don't have. And so this is a real time for gratitude, for appreciation, for really recognizing that actually life's a bit better than I make out, and I keep striving for things, but actually I've got exactly what I need. So the stuff I'm striving for is just stuff that I want rather than what I need. And so it's really about recognizing how far you've come and what you have, and just enjoying it, like taking a moment to stop and smell the roses, really enjoying it. Rather than forward, a bit like you said in our tuning in, focusing too much on the past can cause depression, focusing too much on the future can cause anxiety. So it's like, yes, you might have to just review a little bit of some of the past stuff for lesson learning, but also you want to balance that out with really being present in the moment with the stuff that you've got and that you've earned and that you've achieved. Bringing those 2 things together. And then the Star card would be the rebirth. So upright, it's more like a physical rebirth, the world, you're kind of starting again in the world, creating physically in the world the things that you want. But this came out in reverse, but I want you to have a little look closer at this card. So the nudity in the card represents exposure and vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a thing that we all do very well. And also you can see here that she's got water flowing and pouring into the pool and onto the land. So it's very much about restoring nurturing all areas of your life, but not just focusing on one thing, but really working with all areas, but from this place of rebirth. So in this reverse position, I feel like it's internal rebirth, like it's internal watering the earth, watering into the pool, and just really starting to nurture yourself from an inward position. So
like watering
yeah,
ourselves. Yeah.
pour these, put these things together. You're taking time to rest and reflect. You're taking time to really appreciate what you've got. And then you're taking time to really set yourself up internally, saying, actually, I kind of like this. And I want more of this. And I want to feel good. And I want to nurture myself. And I want to recognize my worth. It's all of that stuff. So it's a very internalized time at the moment. It's just really time to grow your internal strength and your worth and your well-being, and just allow that to almost be like a rebirth of you. And I mentioned kind of this hermit time, and the hermit card didn't come up, but if you are kind of spending that time retreating, as you emerge from that retreating, you want to emerge in this place of like internal rebirth where you just feel like a new person, like you feel like you had a reset. Reset.
Yeah, I feel like in that I want a hermit right now.
Yeah.
Definitely resonating with these. And it's like also with what you were saying with, like, I feel like every time that we're not celebrating how far we've come and all our achievements and what we've got right now, we're never going to be happy and we're never going to be fulfilled, because it's always going to be out there. It's always going to be external. It's always going to be the next thing. And when we get that thing that we think was going to make us feel happy and fulfilled and peace, it's not, because we were never present in trying to get there. We weren't in the journey and being happy now. It was always over there. So it's like we get it and then we're on to the next thing, and we don't fully just be with that. And I'm definitely guilty of doing that. I've achieved so many things that I never thought that I ever would, but you kind of get it and you're like, you don't actually sit there and be like, you know what, just a well done for that. Sit there and just
see what
yeah, that one. Yeah. So I'm a bit guilty of that. I'm like rushing on to the next thing, and I don't think we'll ever be able to find that fulfillment and peace if we're always constantly striving for that next thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks. That was powerful.
That's my advice. Good. Well, it's been lovely chatting.
As always, Luke.
At last week.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Yeah, it was my stepmom's birthday, and we would have been rushing back. So yeah, it was nice to be able to.
Well, from Greece. My in-laws were here from Greece, so we.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. Back at it now, though.
So until next Tuesday.
Yeah, cool.
Have a great week.
I was gonna say it then, but I don't want to say see you next. See you next week. Bye, everyone. See ya.